Thank you. Improved Captain Fox's placing, and that was the way the jockeys seemed to see it. At least that's the second-hand report from the stewards' room as well. So the results, as they passed the post, stood. To return to this race, Shamrock Bay is a very likeable horse and the kind of horse that the Cougars do really well with, and has eked out more and more improvement with each run this season.
Yeah, he has. He's been very consistent really through the year. A couple of lesser efforts, but one of those was his comeback run. You could easily forgive that. So he's developed into just a really solid handicapper. Up to 89, we haven't seen him for 50 days, and he needs to come back as good as ever, doesn't he, to be competitive here? But he has just been very dependable.
You've given your paddock view, you've given your betting view. I wonder if I can take you back to the start of the show. It seems like hours and hours ago, because it is.
Yeah.
And the discussion that we had with Sean Parker about the changes to the National Hunt starting rule and bringing it into line with the flat rule, which was changed from the 1st of May of last year. What's your thought about it?
I think the intention is right.
Oh dear.
I think the intention is right, but for me, it sort of probably ends up kicking the can down the road and causing other issues aside from.
As in having a knock-on effect. You
yeah, like for example, if you suddenly have a non-runner in an 8-runner race, what do? You know, it's affecting people in a different way, isn't it? You suddenly back the third, you pass the purse, you think you've got a ticket that's valid, and it's suddenly not, for example, from a punter's perspective. Just one example.
In running as well?
In running, yeah, it has implications there, and obviously it's going to take time afterwards to know exactly what the result is. So it does have its complications. I think the intention is right, and in instances like the one we saw earlier at Wincanton, where literally the horse had absolutely no chance, I do agree with the sentiment that it's the right thing to be able to call upon it. I suspect that in reality it is something that will get discussed quite a lot, but most of the time it won't get used, and there will be people out there thinking, oh, maybe I've got a chance of getting a refund here, and it won't get used in 95% of cases in all likelihood. And I think that's actually right, for all that it might create a discussion. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, they've gone back over recent results and feel that it's not going to happen very often, but that doesn't mean it's not going to get discussed disproportionately to the amount of times it's actually invoked.
Yes, it will, which could create some criticism potentially.
Yes. There will be more criticism, not less. I don't think it creates clarity in the short term either.
Probably not, but by the same token, for those odd occasions where it absolutely is the correct thing to do, I can see the upside.
Yeah, I wonder whether it's a small upside for multiplying the number of people that you might inconvenience.
Yeah, which I do tend to agree with, because it's happened and people just get on with it ultimately. You have a whinge about the fact that it's happened.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bet. A bet is a bet is a bet is a bet. And on that note from Gertrude Stein, let's join Alan.
Ready, and they're off. Runners race away over 9 furlongs in the Boyle Sports Handicap Stakes. In green and red colours, Shamrock Bay is one of the first ones to show. Mr. Baloo down the centre. So just about split into 2 groups. They definitely do now. The majority heading over towards the stand side, being led by King Casper. Out in the centre is Shamrock Bay. Now we've got another group down the centre now, 3 of them. 2 horses left isolated more towards the centre. Those are Shamrock Bay and Mythical Guest. The rest are tracking over toward the stand side, being led by King Casper. Then Thunder Wonder with the white of Jimmy Speaking, the light blue silk sent for Man of La Mancha, ahead of Mezcala in dark blue and maroon. Then more towards the near side, running road is Boyfriend. Mr. Baloo is with that runner. Competizione is wider out in the green and white stripes, followed closely by Classic Encounter in black and red. Second to last is Brazil Power, and the overall trailer remains Himburg. They're racing now with a half a mile to go then. King Casper, Harry Davis on the front end against the stand side running rail. Out in the centre, Shamrock Bay still there with Mythical Guest. Behind the leader stand side is Jimmy Speaking with Mal of La Mancha and Thunder Wonder. Then Boyfriend, Mezcala, Mr. Baloo, Classic Encounter, Competizione, Brazil Power, and Himburg is still last of all as they race now down towards the final quarter of a mile. King Casper now ridden along for more. Jimmy speaking. Man of La Mancha coming there. Boyfriend is looking to pick his way through. Thunder Wonder ridden for more. Coming across now, Shamrock Bay tries to challenge as they race down towards the final furlong. Man of La Mancha went on. Shamrock Bay still a big player. Competizione is picking up. Also running on his Classic Encounter. Mythical Guest out wider. It's Shamrock Bay and Man of La Mancha, the two to battle it out now. Man of La Mancha near side beginning to get up. Man of La Mancha's won it from Shamrock Bay. Then came Classic Encounter, followed in by Himbook, Boyfriend, Competizione and Mescala.
Man of La Mancha has won it for Ross Ryan and Rafe Beckett, and has beaten Shamrock Bay for Sheen Murphy and the Kublers. Back in third is Classic Encounter for Billy Lotnan and George Bowie. And in fourth, that is Himbook, who didn't have the clearest of runs. Neither did Boyfriend. We'll be able to have a look back at that and see how unlucky, if at all, they were. But Man of La Mancha is the winner.
He is, and he's done it. Backed up that win last time out, back on a much sounder surface than last time out as well. So he's clearly proven himself to be very versatile as regards ground conditions. Well positioned through the race. It did get a bit messy as they sort of collected together at around the 2 furlong pole. Boyfriend, red colours, green cap, and Himbook in the red, the black and the yellow. Both of them travelling better than anything at this stage. I think Himbook's pretty unlucky. I know I backed him, but I think he'd have gone pretty close if he'd have got a run.
I'm going to watch him through from an objective stance. I have not backed him. As you say, he's definitely travelling really well, whereas Boyfriend at this point hasn't found and is having to respond to pressure, whereas the moment that Himbook finds some space, which isn't much of that either, he's running on. Yes, I think you're unlucky.
Yeah, I think he's certainly unlucky not to make a strong race of it with the winner if he'd have got clear run, but he was dropped out. That surprised me, to be honest, that he was dropped right out the back.
Well, Rab was saying that in the interview. He said that he was going to be riding him pretty similarly to how he'd rode the previous 2 winners, because that's the impression he formed about what the horse would be best at Ascot.
Yes, which might be right, actually. But it requires luck, doesn't it? There'll
does.
be another day in him. Could be a horse that we see in a Cambridgeshire down the line, to be honest. He's got a 90 rating, or 88 rating. He's certainly looked very well handicapped the way that he's gone through this.
Yeah.
Man of La Mancha, as I say, a very likeable horse. He's versatile ground-wise, stays the trip really well, can probably be effective over a little bit further, sticks his head down, battles well, and it's a pretty plans to take some of the string with them to Bahrain.
I don't think so. I don't know. It's a good question.
Shamrock Bay would be a type of horse for the series of races out there, wouldn't he?
Yeah.